He said to them, "Doubtless you will quote to me this proverb, 'Doctor, cure yourself.' And you will say, 'Do here also in your hometown the things that we have heard you did at Capernaum.' And he said, 'Truly I tell you, no prophet is accepted in a prophet's hometown. But the truth is, there were many widows in Israel in the time of Elijah, when the heaven was shut for 3 years and 6 months. And there was a severe famine over all the land. Yet Elijah was sent to none of them except to a widow at Zarephath in Sidon. There were also many lepers in Israel at the time of the prophet Elisha, and none of them was cleansed except Naaman the Syrian. When they heard this, all in the synagogue were filled with rage. They got up, drove him out of the town, and led him to the brow of the hill on which their town was built, so that they might hurl him off the cliff. But he passed through the midst of them and went on his way." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Christ. In the name of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Amen. I have a plan, and I've always done better if I share my plans with others and through the act of communal discernment, figure out if this plan is one that I should see through. And my plan is this. I grew up in Grace Church, Canton, there at the Episcopal Church in downtown Canton, and I was thinking about this as a career move, to go to Grace Church, Canton, while the Reverend Beth Boost is there preaching her sermon, ask her politely to step aside, and then proceed to tell all the hometown folk there that I am the reincarnation of Elijah, the prophet, and that all they should do for the rest of their lives is heed my words and do as I say. Think it's a good plan? Okay, so maybe is what I'm hearing. Maybe we should go forward with this. But in all seriousness, if myself or some other priest or some other leader in the church was to do something like that, especially in the Episcopal church, I'd probably get a call from the bishop the next week, and I'd probably have a conversation about whether or not I'd be allowed in public again from that point on. Because we don't have that kind of thing happening in our church, and because to do so would be kind of scandalous and a grab for authority that would seem definitely out of date, not with the times, but then also just kind of self-righteous, right? Self-fulfillment. If you think about what Jesus does here at the beginning of the Gospel of Luke, this is his first act of public ministry. He goes to the synagogue in his hometown, and he reads from the prophet Isaiah. And the prophet says that somebody's coming who's going to free the captives, who's going to let the oppressed go. And he says to them, "Today this scripture is fulfilled in your hearing." And what he meant is that today that person is here. I am him. I am the promised Messiah. And today that this scripture is fulfilled. To them, to many of them, it sounds like in this version, many of them were ready to be with him. But then he kept talking. But to many of them, they would have seen this as blasphemy, power grab, right? What authority does Jesus have to come in and say that he is the Messiah? And because he goes on to say, "I am the Messiah, I know you all want to be healed like I was healing folks in Capernaum, but for you, I cannot heal you because you're part of my hometown, and it doesn't really work for prophets that way." For those two reasons, they got out their pitchforks, right? And they drove him to a hill and nearly pushed him off a cliff. Somehow he magically escapes. He passes through the midst of them. And I was thinking to myself, what would it take for me? Maybe it's going to Grace Church and calling myself Elijah. What would it take for me to preach a sermon that would have the townspeople pushing me to a cliff? And I don't know. What would it take? It had to be super offensive, super self-righteous. I had to work on that one. Maybe I could go and preach an Episcopal sermon to the folks at Whisper Baptist Church. Maybe I could do that. That would be a message that is difficult to hear, and a person speaking whom they knew, right? He grew up there. Jesus grew up in Nazareth. They knew him. They knew he was a carpenter's son, of lowly birth, poor. And who is this guy that's now come to say Isaiah was talking about him? And if you think in our lives, in our hometowns, the people that knew us when we grew up, right? Many of them would have never thought that I would be a preacher. I was a preacher's kid. I put the kid in preacher's kid for sure. And a lot of folks would have said this wild and reckless teenager would not have ended up being a priest. And so, for me to go home to Grace Church and try to tell people how it is, they have some doubts. So it's the deliverer of the message, Jesus of Nazareth, son of a carpenter. And then it's the message that he says. Because anytime throughout all of human history that somebody comes in and says, the people that are in power, the system and how it works, where the people who have the things, the people who live in the kingdom, and the people that are kings and courts and all of this system of wealth, when somebody comes in and says, that's all going away, the poor are going to be set free, the captive set free, the oppressed are going to have their deliverance. When people start talking that way, no matter what period in history, somebody's coming for them, right? That the powers that be are going to do their best to silence that voice and drive it away. So it's the content of his message also that sets him on a path toward the cross from day one of his public ministry. So where does this leave us today? I'm thinking about how Jesus got away with all of this, because he makes it for 3 years in his ministry, right? He starts this from day one, giving this message of freeing the captive. How does he make it all the way? And I think about what Paul says. Paul says that the key ingredient for us and for Jesus was love. He's not talking, the presiding bishop says, the love of Jesus is not like your Valentine's Day card. Spread this kind of superficial, kind of culturally demanded version of love that's just kind of overly sentimental. It is the power of all of creation fused into how the world works. That kind of love that is transformative, the love that is self-giving, self-denying, the love that will put others before ourselves. That powerful, transformative love is what made Jesus get away with it for so long. Because with his disciples, with the people that he encountered, on a daily basis, every step he took was self-giving. Every step he took was for the sake of others. And he had that love infused in him, and he had that love to share with him in his ministry the entire time. And I believe that that's how he got away with it. Paul says, love endures all things. Love endures all things. It bears all things. And if you think about God, let's say at the beginning of creation, we know that God is omniscient, all of these categories about what it means to be divine. Omniscient, perfect, kind of within himself, he's good. All right? He doesn't need anything else. For a God like that to choose to create anything is a self-giving act. Right? To choose to say, I will create the world, I will create other things, is of itself a self-giving act. So even the very nature of our reality, we believe, is infused with love. Because it's a self-giving act when God gives of himself and makes things. So it's in the very stuff of creation. And the presiding bishop, in his royal wedding sermon, that was so awesome, in that he quoted Deschardins, who is a French theologian, who says this. He says, when humanity discovers the power of love, it will be the second technological advance that will take us to the next generation. And what he means is we discovered fire, and with fire we were able to do all these amazing things, create industry, make machines, all that kind of stuff. When we discover the power of love embedded in creation, that's going to be the moment when we transform our world, our society. Believe it. It's not the kind of love that you get on the Valentine's Day card, right? It's the transformative, deep-rooted love that is in all things. And I think that what that means for us today is, when I reflect on Christianity and I think of where we are today, We've got political narratives that put us in this place and that. We've got social narratives that put us in this place and that. We've made our tribes, our camps. We said, I know what's true, and I believe this way, and I'm with this politician, I'm with that. And we've got even Christianity that reflects that, right? We've got a left version of Christianity that will talk about social justice, right? And we'll point to those scriptures where Jesus is ministering to the poor and the needy, and then it would have to leave out some other pieces of scripture. We've got, on the other side, we've got a version of Jesus that looks much more conservative, that is about personal salvation sometimes, and it's about, getting your life right before you end up in the afterlife in the wrong place. Right? We've got these competing versions of Christianity out there that are just like our competing narratives politically and socially. But there is a core, there is a heart, there is a middle way, and it is self-sacrificial love. It is that same thing that allowed Jesus to get away with his ministry all the way to the cross. It is for us simply to choose the love of others over the love for ourselves. It is the transformative power of love that can unite us, and it is the transformative power of love that will help us overcome these divisions that we can't get over. And it's a humbling thing, right? Because it means admitting step one in self-denial, admitting that you might not be right about the way that you see the world. Self-sacrificial love. It was there for Jesus and helped him, I guess, pass through the crowd and not get pushed off the cliff. And it helped him in his ministry sustain a love of others in the community of disciples and believers that were with him all the way. May God help us to overcome our divisions, to recognize that love that endures all things, and plant it in our hearts and grow with one another. Amen.